Hi there, welcome to No Nonsense Whisky. My name is Vin PF and welcome to another special December 2017 episode. On this episode I'm going to be celebrating peated whisky. Now fans of the show will know that when I started doing the channel I really wasn't into peated whisky that much, and I tried a couple, and off screen I've been trying my hardest to get into peat because it's like a whole sector of whisky that I'm missing out on. Because of that I've covered stuff like the Bemore 15 last year, and obviously I've done things like Highland Park, slightly peated. Recently I did some heavy hitters, which was the Ardbeg 10 and the Lafroig 10. This little collection I've put together here are whiskies that I don't feel like I'm ready to properly review yet because I haven't got hold of a bottle yet. As you'll see, these are all very affordable and available. But these are little drams that I get in my monthly subscription service, which is the Dram Team. Before I go ahead, I'd like to say this video isn't endorsed or sponsored by them whatsoever. I am a paying customer, receive these every month, and I just think they're a brilliant service. So if you do want to check them out, that's entirely my recommendation, nothing to do with them whatsoever. But it's just my way of going through some excellent peated whisky, letting you know what I think. This is not a review in any way, shape or form, but I'll give a little bit of information about each one, and hopefully we'll see what we get with them. I think I might enjoy it, we'll see. So first up, let's go straight into it. This first one, it's very pale, but this is the English Whiskey Chapter 9 Peated. Now interestingly enough, this was the first ever English peated whisky. This particular batch is the 2013, so it was distilled in 2010, released in 2013, so it's still 3 years old. The first one I think was 07 and then released in 2010. But this is still readily available, 46%. All of these actually, apart from the last one, are 46%, then 48. But this one's around 40 to 45 pounds still right now, you can get hold of it. And it's just, it smells a little young, sure, but it's not just in your face. It's got a little bit of sweetness to it. It's not overly smoky, I don't think. It's not like say your big heavy hitter Islers. It's done the English way. Very fruity and fresh. Let's have a taste. And for my palate, hopefully I'm getting used to smoky whiskies and Islers especially, but I would say that's more peppery than peaty. But I can see how somebody who really doesn't like peated whiskey might feel differently. But it's nice and sweet. It's not ashy. It's not medicinal. It's not like Islers at all, really. But yeah, it's a decent quality dram. Next up, we have the Longrow Peated. Now this bad boy is by the Springbank Distillery, Campbelltown, and it's although this one's called just Longrow Peated, some say it's kind of the replacement for the Longrow CV, which was between 6 and 14 years, and literally was the curriculum vitae of the distillery of the Longrow brand. So it's got all kinds of oak in there, like your sherries and all things like that. So it's meant to be the replacement for that. I don't know. I've not tried the original one, but we'll see what I think about this one. This one again, 46%. It is a no age statement, but it may well be that 6 to 14. Possibly not, I would say. Otherwise they would carry on with the CV. I would say it's a bit younger. But this one's about 40 quid again. Very affordable. It hasn't got as sweet a nose as the previous. A little bit more woody, but again, it's not overly smoky. It's not unpleasant at all. It's a touch more peppery, but a lot more fruity than the last. It's really quite nice. It's I would say it's probably more of an evening sipper. You're definitely getting them sherried notes come through as well, which is overall making it much more palatable for someone like me. Although, like I say, I am kind of into my Islers now, so I can manage it. Let's go for the third one, shall we? Now this one is a Welsh one, so we're getting a good mix here. We've had English, bit of Scotch, Campbelltown, and we've got Welsh, and coming up we've got a blended Scotch and an Islay. So covering the British Isles pretty well. Sorry Ireland, no Connemara in. So Penderyn, it's just the Gold Collection peated, 46%. It's about £42, give or take, depending on where you are. But this one is, the peat comes from entirely casks. They use their standard distillate. I don't know if they store it any longer or anything like that, but they definitely finish it or at least store it in the casks, one of the two. But the key point to this will be, if you like the flavour of Penderyn, which I do, then it's just that with a bit of extra kick. So it's got that kind of interesting vanilla-y with a bit of a twist flavours to it, which again I quite like. And I know some people who aren't big fans of the kind of standard Penderyn flavour. It's definitely worth a go because it builds on that a little bit. But if you're really adverse to their flavour profile, then I doubt this will entice you much anymore. But for me, it's great. And again, 42 quid is a snip. Unfortunately, no age statement. I know a few of you guys like that sort of thing, but this is the future of whiskey at the moment. Unfortunately, until stocks start building up, maybe demand goes down a little bit. But until then, we're gonna have to live with NAS, I'm afraid. Fourth on the list is the Wheems Peat Chimney. Now this is the only one on this lineup that I had tried before today. Again, so these are mostly first impressions rather than reviews. But I tried this as part of a Dram Team tweak tasting. So I saved some just for a video just like this because I really quite liked it. Now Wheems are a kind of Fife-based family, and they didn't have their own distillery, but they are backing the Kingsbarns distillery, which are due to release in 2018. I do have some of their new make that I should be covering early in the new year as well. But this one really quite surprised me because it's a blend of probably sort of 16 or so whiskies, some of them malts in fact, and some of them are Islas, some of them aren't. Don't know the exact kind of combination, but that's the whole point, I think. It did come in aged versions as well, but this is the no age statement. Again, 46%. It's a good number, that is 46. I like that as a percentage. And this one's really quite cheap as well. It's about £38. There's a little collection like this of the Peat Chimney and other ones as well, but it's a little mustier on the nose than the others. It's not as sweet. And this is probably the first one of the lot that you get a kind of real sense of some smoke for it. It's not heavy smoke, but let's try. Real peppery, kind of peaty smoke on that. Again, it isn't medicinal, it isn't ashy, it isn't burnt, like again some of your Islas will be, but it's just on the right side of kind of interesting. It's got that interesting profile. So far, all four of these would be excellent entries into the genre of smoke and peat and things like that. In fact, on the finish, I would say you start getting more of that kind of dying bonfire flavours once it's gone, which is the first one out of these four that's done that. Yeah, I really do like that dram. It's they're all good so far, but I think this might be my favourite, and I'm might be being kind of blurred a little bit by the fact it's the cheapest, because I do like good quality cheap whiskey. Finally, I've left this one till last because it is the 48%er and it is the Laphroaig, so going first probably not the best idea. But this is a very interesting one because this is the Laphroaig Quarter Cask. Nice good colour, because it's aged for 5 years in their normal sized cask barrels, and then it's transferred into these little quarter casks, literally a quarter of the volume of the larger ones. The idea behind that is it will mature faster because the liquid has a greater surface area contact with wood, so it finishes for several months. Don't know exactly, maybe when it's ready they just let it out, but it should age much faster than the larger casks. But again, it's also £40, so that's kind of, I don't know, maybe about the same sort of as the 10-year-old. 10-year-old is very medicinal, very ashtray-y. It's nice enough, but it's not my go-to, that's for sure. I still find it a bit of a struggle to drink that kind of thing, but I do find enjoyment in it. This has got that, it's got that characteristic kind of Lafroig, ever slightly medicinal, bit seaweedy, but there's some sweetness behind it all, which is really quite nice. Let's try. It's super viscous, and straight away you're getting that characteristic, again, Lafroig flavours, that kind of burnt, you're getting that burnt wood, super oaky, but it doesn't descend into ash like the 10 does in my palate. Once the finish goes, you're left with a kind of ashtray-y aftertaste, which isn't the most pleasant. I mean, it's certainly there, but it's got a bit of sweetness to it instead, this. I would probably say I prefer this to the 10. This one, although I said the other 4 were kind of good entry levels, I don't think this one is. This one's more of an intermediate, if you like that sort of thing, obviously, but if you're looking to get into smoky whiskies and you didn't previously like them, this isn't a go-to, that's for sure. But for the price, very, very good. Again, no age statement, but we've got to let it happen. We've got to let it happen. Otherwise they'll go under. Well, there you go. That is a quick little look into the kind of peated stuff I've been hoarding over the last year or so. Again, I haven't bothered doing a full review on any of these because I don't feel like I had enough of a bottle to really give it an in-depth kind of look, and I'm not that well versed in smoky whiskies yet. Maybe next year I'll be buying a lot more kind of smoky stuff, so hopefully I'll have something that I can really show you guys. Hopefully this has sparked your interest in at least a couple of these, and maybe you can get hold of a few of them. I know I've got some worldwide viewers these days. I think especially the Lafroig, maybe the Long Row, maybe the Darren you might be able to get. Weems possibly, this one doubt it, but do look for it if you can. Don't pay over the odds though, please, because that's silly money. Thanks again for joining me for one of these December specials. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the channel. And of course, check more videos just like this, and join me for Christmas Day and the Whiskey of the Year next week, and then into 2018. Thanks for watching.